Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, tonight we're going to be taking a look at Simply Red, and Mick is going to be performing Stars. I've featured Mick Hucknall on the channel in the past, and again, this request came through with the question of whether the performance was fully live and whether anything's been done to Mick's vocal. We know on the channel Mick just has an amazing voice, so we are going to be jumping into this and seeing what we can see. As always, the link to this video is in the description below, so you guys can check it out independently if you want to, and I suggest that you do, because we're going to be focusing on the isolated vocal here. This is a great performance instrumentally as well as vocally, but let's have a listen.
Anyone who ever held you would tell you the way I'm feeling.
I'm going to jump in immediately because, I mean, Mick's voice is one of those of my youth, you know, in the kind of, late 80s, 90s, when I was growing up. His voice is always on the radio. But what I love about this is just the quality of the sound that we're getting here. Just listen again.
Anyone who ever held you.
Just the depth of tone. And when we're looking at the pitch here, you know, Mick is hugely accurate, but it's more about the tone, the expression, and this part of his range that is so full. It is so full that you don't really take in that, oh, well, here we're between pretty much the F3 and the F sharp 3, but that doesn't matter. Even without the instrumentation, it's still making sense on a melodic level. Now, one thing that I can do as we run through here, we can see the A3 ever so slightly flat of the line, but really accurate. I'll let it play on.
Anyone who ever wanted you.
And again, listening to this, at no point are we thinking, I mean, we don't have the instrumentation as a guide, but we already know the key that he's singing in. How is that possible when he starts off between notes here? It's because he's between notes and then ascends to the D3, and the intervals are really solid. So it means going up to the F sharp 3 as well, even though technically we're flat. Let's listen on.
We'll try to tell you what I feel inside.
This is great. So again, listening to this vocal, we can na 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 na. We know that that's the pitch, but again, Mick is between the lines here. So again, I love it when a great vocalist just contradicts the industry standard that we have nowadays. I mean, it's great now because what I can do is I can get the authentic vocal logo on screen, so I can now represent on screen. This is absolutely live. This is a natural vocal. What we're hearing from Mick here is into the microphone and then into our ears. There's no pitch processing going on here. And yeah, for those of you that don't know, this is the authentic vocal registered trademark. So it's something that can only be put on genuinely live vocals and performances, and that they haven't been edited from a pitch perspective, as this hasn't been. That is part of authenticvocal.com. So yeah, don't go using this on your own stuff because it's illegal, but I can do it here and I can do it on Authentic Vocal as somebody who independently verifies vocal performances. But we will jump into this now knowing exactly what we're listening to. I'm just going to bring in a bit of the instrumentation as well, because this is a 3-piece, by the way. We've just got guitar and keys going on.
I feel inside. The only thing I ever wanted was the feeling that you ain't faking.
Oh, I mean, that is so cool. Going up. I mean, we're going up an octave here. So even though that sounded easy, you know, that's a significant jump that we've had from, you know, you can see here in between F sharp 3, G3, and then up here, we didn't quite get to see it, but the F sharp 4 is here. So we are an octave higher.
The only one you ever thought about Wait a minute, can't you see that I...
And talk about that for a G4. Look at it. Just flat of the G4, but look at the consistency of pitch. And that is as accurate as you're ever going to need to be in your whole life at hitting a G4. But I just want to get into, I don't want this video to go on all night, but listen to the difference here with Mick's voice.
Can't you see?
I mean, that is great because he's just tweaking this up perfectly between A sharp 3, B3. And these are microtones, by the way, the space between these lines of tuning. And this is where the expression happens. And Mick is giving this one note, effectively, as we're hearing it, different personalities by placing it in different places from a pitch perspective. So let me take that back again. Have a listen.
Can't you see that?
So he went, can't you? And he actually went, can you see? So we get the same on the first, the same on the third, but the second time he did it, can't you? He's now slightly sharper the B3. I mean, I know I'm talking about things in a lot of detail here, but this is the perfect example of when you're listening to a great singer who isn't being calibrated to A440, it shows you what they do and how they can give you a different sound and give a different personality to the same note by just changing, because this won't register as different notes when you hear it. It just registers as a slightly different feel, a slightly different expression that was given. Because, of course, we wouldn't be looking at this if we were listening to it live. Let's just hear that G4 again.
And I wanna fall from the stars.
A4, absolutely bang on.
Straight into your arms.
Again, sounds great. And when we're looking at it on screen, here's the perfect example of a great vocalist with great pitch. But look at the variation that we get. Here you can say we're so close to that G4. As we move forward for the second time in the chorus, we're now flatter than we were. But it still sounds great, and that is still really consistent. And even, I mean, if we're looking at this with a fine-tooth comb, when Mick comes down, absolutely nails the E4 here. You can say he's between notes here.
Straight into your arms.
And here, this straight into your arms. You can say that, well, we spent most of the time here between the lines. And we never really got over any of these lines. But it still absolutely makes sense. You need to have expression in your voice, and that's why great singers are great singers. Not because they've been calibrated to anything and been corrected, it's because they're doing something with their voice that is unique. And this is definitely unique.
I feel you. I hope you comprehend.
Oh, listen to that from a range perspective. Because we went up to, the A sharp 4?
I feel.
Yeah, so, A sharp 4, probably the B there.
Yeah.
And that's the B4, by the way.
I hope you come.
And B3's down here. So in this one vocal phrase, from the B4, semitone off the male tenor high C, all the way down to the G3. So when I was talking about great singers just having a range and being able to hit you, in order to sing this song in the first place, you better have this range to be able to pull it off. When it's fully live, those kinds of things don't stand out. When you have somebody who's maybe using auto-tune and the vocal gets snapped to the wrong note, that stands out because everything else is absolutely spot on, perfect, on top of a line. Whereas as soon as something is now off by a semitone, you think, oh, well, hang on, everything else has been absolutely nailed. So why is that happened? Whereas here, you listen to this, and I'm just going to bring a little bit of instrumentation in to see at least what that sounds like in context.
For the man who tried to hurt you.
And it's great as well, because when he goes up to the F sharp 3 and goes, hurt you, he's a little bit flat and tails off. So it's almost like that first part is now in the collection of sound that even at the end was slightly flat and tailed off. So again, I think this is just great application of vocal technique by Mick from a pitch perspective to tie in what he does at the end here to the beginning. So flat, perfectly now back on pitch, and then flat, tail off. So it's actually giving significance to where he started. And again, this is the kind of thing that you won't learn from somebody who's been pitch corrected or is using auto-tune live.
He's explaining the way I'm feeling for all
Absolutely bang on it now.
the jealousy I caused you.
And again, look at this. We've just had a phrase that's absolutely over these lines, and then Mick just hits you with this slightly more somber sound, ever so slightly flat. It doesn't sound bad, it's just got a different feel to it.
You'll never know how much you hurt me. Stay a minute, can't you see that
And when I said that's as accurate as you ever need to be on the G4, he's only gone and done it again.
wanna fall from the stars?
Oh, he just nails this A4. He's actually sharp of the A4. Which, I mean, again, top end of the male tenor range. And it's not a sound that is light. There's a bit of air in there.
Wanna fall from the stars?
Actually, I was going to say it's more far like that. But it's actually far. There's a little bit of that kind of in there. Far from the stars, and then getting into the lighter sound. So this is actually, quite well connected. So, and he's sharp of it. So he's absolutely all over that note.
Straight into your arms,
And even that high, there's still that hint of air.
I feel ya, I hope you comprehend now.
Listen to that. I know I'm jumping into this every second, but it's because of this logo at the bottom. Mick is genuinely doing this live.
I feel ya, I hope you comprehend now.
That was all in one breath. So Mick has sung the two chorus lines there, one after the next, on the same breath. Oh, and take a look in the background. Take a look at that breath that he's taking. Hopefully you can see it. But he's got a lot of air there because he knows exactly what he's about to do. But listen to this endurance.
I feel ya, I hope you comprehend now.
And he's still absolutely bang on it.
Wanna fall from the stars?
Again, all over the A4. And now actually between the A4 and the A sharp 4. So he's got that range at the top there.
Straight into your arms.
And he's actually gone up to the B4 earlier. So he's got that in the locker.
I feel ya, I hope you comprehend.
And, I mean, there we have it. I mean, what a great live performance. I mean, I know it's only, 2 minutes, or maybe 2.5 minutes, a little bit longer than that. But it's such a great overall performance instrumentally and vocally, and the backing vocals as well. Actually, let me bring those in, because again, fully live. Let's listen to this.
Wanna fall from the stars, straight into your arms.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, that sound, it's light, but it has to be way up there in order to supply that harmony. Again, sounds great.
I feel ya, I hope you comprehend.
Yeah, there's so much in here from a dynamic perspective as well. When we work our way all the way down to this place. Now we're literally, we're there, going from, what we had before, the top end of the male tenor range, now all the way down to what, B3, with air in the sound, really deliberate, slow vibrato, under total control. So yeah, great to hear Mick's voice in this kind of detail, and there's so much to appreciate it. Yeah, an absolutely authentic vocal for tonight. So thank you guys for requesting this particular video for tonight, and that does answer the request. They were asking if it was fully live. It definitely is. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below for future videos. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!